Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow. Hey, everybody. It is so great to be connecting with all of you. Thank you so much for tuning us in and turning us on. And, here's what I want to say. I was up last night pretty late. We're working on some very, very cool and interesting things. And I'm sitting there, and it's late at night. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, how am I even having the energy to be up this late at night doing this? And, what's fascinating about all of that is, I can't even begin to tell you how really cool things are about the way that we're going to deliver positive media. But one of the things I was really struck by, because, my guest today will talk about it, but I was really struck by the fact that I am like in a routine and a regimen when it comes to making sure, thanks to the Maca team, that I've got the forms of maca that I need. And there's only really one explanation. And it's not caffeine, for those of you that are just thinking, yeah, she's like drinking so much coffee. No. Literally, when I think about the change in what I have done in terms of food and diet in my life, not much. But when I think about the fact of how often now I'm either taking the liquid form or the powder of this delicious maca, it is the only thing that I can explain to why me at my age working with my mind is up at 1 o'clock in the morning and feeling like I could go for 5 hours. And by the way, I had a deadline. So today's show is with my friend, my colleague, to talk about what it is about the Maca team and the maca that they work with that is safe, pure, and the highest quality. If you're not familiar with the term GMO, please get familiar with it. Today, Mark Ament is going to take us on a journey of what GMO means and what GMO-free means and why Peru is so adamant about how they treat the land, how they grow the food, and how they ensure that if you're going to take something like maca and put it in your body, which is supposed to work, that you are getting the best of the best. No compromise, no excuses, and by the way, no negotiating when it comes to purity and quality. Mark, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, Dr. Pat. Great to be here as always. And really looking forward to this show and sharing a lot of really important information today.
I want to ask you about this because this was a true story I just told, but I want to really couple this with something else, and maybe you can talk about it for our listeners today, because I don't really have an explanation of it. I told you that 4 weeks ago, and I've shared this on air, I started to go back and play table tennis, right? Now, I used to play a lot of table tennis when I was in my 20s, right? I sent you pictures. That was me. But how is it that somebody like me that is literally not running around in gyms and exercising, how is it now on a Sunday when I go out there with my buds to play table tennis, and this has now happened 2 Sundays in a row, how is it that I'm able to play table tennis at a very, very high degree, 2 hours straight, Mark, 2 hours straight, and play, with topspin, hit that ball at 90 miles an hour? Can you explain a little bit of that? Because nobody around me gets it.
Wow. That's amazing. I didn't know those balls got hit so fast.
Yeah, fast. I'm a little slow. Yes, it does.
I can only imagine. I mean, well, first of all, obviously you're very good at that and you have that in your body memory, right? Since you've done it. But what's interesting is, as you shared a couple weeks ago on the last time we talked, was, hey, you hadn't done that for years in a competitive level. Then you started taking Maca. What has it been? Maybe 4 or 5 months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
In a consistent way.
Yep.
And like many people, over time, as the Maca built up in your system, as your hormones came into more of a balance and healthy state, you started feeling better, and your stamina went up as a result, and you wanted to do something more physical, right? And you did. So you've got, for a simple way to put it is, I think the Maca has helped raise your life force, your vitality, basically.
Yeah. So here, this is a joke, right? This is what I know you hear this, but so I'm playing. And one of the people I'm playing with, she's maybe 30, Mark, maybe 30 years old, right? 30, 32, 33, maybe, right?
Right.
And she looked at me, and we're playing, and we were playing doubles together, right? And my God, we were killing everybody, crushing them, right? And I'm talking about men that were playing against us, right?
Wow.
And so she looked at me, and I was talking to somebody else about, I'm looking for health care. The woman turned to me and she said, "You can't be that old." And I just looked at her and I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, there's no possible way that you can play and just get up here and you don't sit down. You play for 2.5, 3 hours. Are you really that age?" I have to tell you, I mean, I guess I was a little bit like, okay, yeah, but don't you hear stories like this? Because the truth is, Mark, if you want to go back to 3 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this.
Dr. Pat, it's so inspiring that you share this. And this was really an unexpected benefit, right? Mm-hmm. Of taking the product. I know you had taken it in the past for other hormone, balancing situations. And so that was great, but it's something we do hear a lot, and it doesn't even have to be athletic performance.
Okay.
Let me give you an example of one customer, and this is going back a few years now when I was just first starting out sharing this amazing product. And I should say that's been my inspiration since day one is, hey, Maca helps people feel better, helps them achieve real differences in their lives, and it's just a simple food, as we're going to talk about, GMO free and all that great stuff. But this guy was involved in a job at a loading dock where he lifted a lot of heavy boxes and containers and was very physically active, and I think he was at that point in his late 50s and still working a very physical demanding job. And he got onto the Maca through a friend, and he took our red Maca at first, and then he switched to black. But after about 2 months of regularly taking it, we get this email, and it says, "Hey, Maca team, I am amazed how good I feel. I feel like I've shaved off 10 years. I'm able to do the work that's required of me better than I could, last month. So I only changed the Maca." So he physically found strength and stamina through Maca for his job. So that's another example. It doesn't just have to be related to sports, but again, it was a physical job, and he just felt better. And he has since. We were just going through. We just launched a rewards program, so we were going through and seeing the customers who've ordered the most, and I believe he was one of the top with like 28 or 30 orders over the past 5-6 years. So he's loving it and continuing on it, and more power to him, because all he didn't have to change his diet.
Right.
He didn't have to become a vegetarian or go on raw food or become paleo or any of that stuff.
Right.
He just added in this amazing, simple root vegetable powder into his life, stayed consistent with it, and lo and behold, he's keeping up with people half his age. He also mentioned that, in on his shift. He'd say, "Yeah, I'm showing those young guys a thing or two." So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Jessica to come out and take some video of me playing, because you have to see it, Mark. I mean, it's it's sweating. Oh my gosh! I didn't even ask you about this. I am sweating, and we know the positive impact of sweating, right?
Oh, sure.
I love it. But, here's the thing I want to say to you. I'm so grateful for you and your family and the team, because playing table tennis is something I really love. And I really have not been able to do it. And by the way, let me just share this before we go to break. I actually went out and bought myself a new paddle. And so here's the deal. I buy myself a new paddle that's rated at about a 98% from a speed point of view. Mm-hmm. It's rated at a lower from a control point of view. And I have this paddle, and I'm there playing with my old paddle. And I'm afraid to use the new paddle because in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to keep up with the spin on the ball, my own spin. Wow. And so what happened was, about an hour into it, I figured I got nothing to lose. I got that racket, and I'm telling you, it was like I have not missed a beat. And the only thing that I could say that I've done consistently, and let's just say in the past 3 months, consistently and regularly, is the Maca, both the liquid form as well. But what is it about the Maca from the Maca team that sets you guys apart? When we come back from break, you're going to want to listen to this. The other thing is, we're taking your questions throughout the show today. Seriously important show. GMO got to go. GMO got to go, right? GMO free is what we're talking about. Why is it important? And why is it going to be more important, since you may not even know what's genetically modified in your food. That's why Mark Ament is joining me here today. Go to themacateam.com. By the way, highest quality maca for the best prices around. When we come back, take your notepad out, 1-800-930-2819. Love to have your questions. We'll be right back.
Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. 'Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you've been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this.
Hi, I'm Tim Darter.
And I'm Steve Kramer.
Join us on Spirit Fire Radio. Discover how to add the mechanics of meditation to your day.
And watch yourself connect in a whole new way. Find the amazing moments in life's routines that often pass us by. Add to your awareness with Spirit Fire Radio.
Tune in each Wednesday at 9 a.m. for your weekly guide to practical mindfulness. And to learn more, visit www.spiritfireradio.com.
Song of the Heart, Walking the Path of Light, from author and healer Francine Vale, is available now. Through Francine's life story, we learn how imperative it is to love one another. Once this simple truth is learned, peace on earth will prevail. Song of the Heart is a life lived and a story told for this purpose. To learn more about Francine and her amazing gifts, or to order your copy of the book today, visit angelsandlightbeings.com.
Have you ever tried to make lifestyle changes but had difficulty following through? Imagine what it would be like to get up each morning with energy, clarity, and motivation to tackle the day. If you want to get past limiting barriers that are preventing you from living your best life, join holistic health and wellness coach T. Carrie Mitchell each month on the Dr. Pat Show. Or visit lifestyle120.com today and start to receive the personal attention you deserve.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
A word of caution: if you prefer the status quo and you are not interested in improving every aspect of your life, this book will trigger the shift out of you. The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens is available now. Author Colette Steffen brings the powerful knowledge and life-changing energy and empowerment from the radio airwaves to the pages of her new book. To get your copy in paperback or ebook, visit thetruthisfunny.com today.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. And, let me just say this for all of you out there. If you would like to find out more about, what I'm talking about, and the various forms of maca, organic maca, everything about it, GMO-free, please, please, please go to themacateam.com. Go to themacateam.com. I'm going to spell it. THEMACA team, TEAM.com. And when you go there, lots of information. Mark, what else should folks know about this, please?
Well, let's just, we had left off promising to talk a bit about the GMO-free situation.
Yep.
And if for anybody who doesn't know, GMO means genetically modified organism. So when it's applied to agricultural crops, it's something that the actual genome of the traditional crop is altered. A famous one that took place many years ago was trying to graft salmon genes into tomatoes. Why? To make the tomatoes more resistant to cold, because the salmon live in cold waters. So that's a sort of a basic example. But the thing is with GMO is we just don't know what the impact on human health is, and it's too risky. There haven't been enough studies to know that it's safe. There haven't been enough experience to know, and of course the people who produce it will say, of course it's safe, it's all fine, and that's just to sell, as we know. So that's something most of the listeners are going to know about in general, GMO. But if you don't, that's the basic issue. Totally modified from the genetic type of food that we've had for thousands of years. Now, interestingly, there are about 38 countries who've banned GMO crops, the cultivation of GMO crops. The U.S. is not one of them, unfortunately, but Peru is. In 2011, the government of Peru totally banned GMO production until 2021. So they said at least 10 years. So you cannot import GMO to Peru. You cannot grow it there, which means that the maca that comes from Peru is genetically pure. It has not been in any way altered from the original. And now, keep in mind, that's where maca comes from, what is present-day Peru and Bolivia, the high Andes. So it's a genetic heritage of humanity product, basically. It's the same as it always has been. Why that's especially important is because to understand this in terms of maca is because China is now cultivating maca in its high mountain regions, and they are genetically modifying it. They have 7 GMO patents on Maca that have been granted by their government. And what's scary about this is, just consider this, and this will be eye-opening, I think, for everyone listening. A maca root in Peru, when you pull it out of the ground, is about the size of a large radish or maybe a small turnip. So that's the normal size. The genetically modified roots I've seen the size of a pumpkin. It's crazy.
I know.
And nutritionally, the fact is that they're not giving the same benefit. People are, we get customers regularly saying, hey, I got a maca that the box or the package says it's from China. It was cheap. And you know what? It doesn't work. And we say, hey, try some good stuff. Try the stuff from Peru. And our stance is, our tagline is select Peruvian maca. That's all we do, is we get the highest quality, the best Peruvian grown maca that we can find, organic, fair trade, treating the farmers great, making sure they're taken care of. So it's a win-win-win for the farmers, for our customers, and for us as a small family company. That's what we're about. And so I just really encourage people to consider that, whether it's maca or even another food like quinoa that is typically grown in South America, in Peru in particular. If you're seeing a label that says, hey, this is from China, just put it back. Put it back and get one that's grown in Peru, because you can rest assured that is not GMO.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And, this is the thing that we're talking about, too. And let's talk about a myth if we can. I was talking with somebody about the maca the other day, and I was telling them how much I absolutely love it. And they said their comment to me, Mark, was really interesting, because there's been a lot of articles out there. And, the articles out there are all about price gouging. And they said, well, you must be paying a fortune. I'm like, no, we're not. And by the way, check them out. So isn't that a myth? That, people are now creating this, incorrect information about what's really possible. Because not only are the prices great from the Maca team, but you guys are dedicated to keep reducing them.
We are, and we hope to be able to do that again in June or July, depending on the harvest. But it's shocking, because what a lot of people don't understand is last year when the Chinese went to Peru and bought up 80% of the maca harvest. So our wholesale pricing from our farms went up by a factor of 6 to 10 times. So we had to raise prices. It pained me. We hadn't done it in 4 years. And as you said, we have lowered them again. And hopefully, as the harvest stabilizes, which it has been this year, and as it continues, we hope to be able to lower those again. And not to mention, or in addition to that, I should say that the Chinese maca that is now on the market is much cheaper, but it's not working.
Right,
it's
exactly.
GMO.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not working, because if we're talking about, my story, right? I would be buying a whole lot of maca, spending a whole lot of money. And let me just say, it would not be working.
And that's the thing. And then you feel like you're wasting your money, which in a sense you are, because you're not getting the benefit you would have taken it to begin with. You may get a little bit, but for the most part, it's definitely not the same. And I want to say this: if someone were to take our most expensive product, which is our premium raw maca, and were to take the suggested serving, which is about 3 teaspoons a day, that's a general one. We have much more specific information about that for individual people. But say they took the suggested 3 teaspoons a day. Guess how much that's going to come out to, even when you add shipping on top of it? It's going to be less than $2 a day.
Right.
So would you say that $60 a month would be worth being able to play table tennis for 2 hours and sweat like crazy?
Yeah, I don't even know how I can even put a price on it. But, the price is really not even a point of conversation. I brought it up because what we have is misinformation out there. And, for me, whether it's a powder mark or whether it is, that comes in a liquid form, we did a show on this not too long ago. The point is it's the same quality. So let's just be clear about that. Yep. And, there are a variety of ways to do it. But the thing that I love about this is I am safe. And here's what I want to ask you about, and I want to talk about when we come back, is that, if you're somebody like me, and I've shared sort of my own healing journey that I've gone through over the past 10 years, if I put something in my body, Mark, that is not safe, is not pure, is not all the things you've said, I will have a disastrous result. I really will. And so that's a part of this which we need to talk about because, we're not just talking about genetically modified. We're talking about the highest quality of maca, but beyond maca, it's really one of the highest qualities of food we can put in our body. And my body would be the number one indicator around here about whether or not this is okay. And I've never had not any issue whatsoever. And I remember you talking about early on that, wow, if you start taking it, maybe this is going to happen, maybe that's going to happen. But this is such a pure quality of maca. I didn't have any of that go on. Nothing.
Awesome. And that's a good point. When we come back, if we're getting close to a break, I would like to sort of break down for people which of the varieties and which of the types to consider, because you and I talked about that way back, but I would like to share that with the listeners so people really have a sense.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Let's take a short break, everybody. When we come back, get your notes out there. When we come back, we're going to tell you about all of the above and why this is so important. We're getting ready for the warm weather here. You're thinking, I need to be walking around. I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that. But, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Yeah, say goodbye to tired. We'll be right back.
If I wrote you a symphony just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do? If I told you you were beautiful, would you?
Tune in to Sheer Alchemy with Leslie Fontaine on TransformationTalkRadio.com and get ready to stir up your passions, identify your blocks, and shift into an entirely new existence. Leslie Fontaine is a transformation catalyst and clairvoyant who uses her intuitive and energetic gifts to catapult listeners into living the life they were born to live. Whether it's shifting from scarcity to abundance, from emotional pain into joy, or from illness into health, Leslie will help you step into the true essence and power of all that you are with the help of the Ascended Masters and Archangels. You will not be the same. Visit TransformationTalkRadio.com for show dates and times and LeslieFontaine.com to say yes to explosive abundance.
Are you ready for a radical shift in your way of being? Are you seeking a more deeply connected and fulfilling life? Awakened Living Radio is a show dedicated to helping you embrace a life filled with profound peace, connection, and happiness. TJ Woodward is passionate about helping you find your clarity, balance, and purpose. Join co-host TJ Woodward and Dr. Pat Basili on the first Monday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific Time for Awakened Living Radio on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Access Consciousness is coming back to Seattle this April for 3 amazing events. Mark your calendars. April 20th through the 22nd is the Access Consciousness Body Classes, created by Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here, facilitated by Dr. Glenna Rice. Explore verbal processes and hands-on bodywork that will unlock the tension, resistance, and dis-ease of the body by shifting energy dynamically. April 23rd through the 25th is the Advanced Access Body Class with Gary Douglas. What if you could undo a whole lot of limitations that you have locked into your body and create an alteration of the way your body functions? Then, on April 26th at 7 p.m., Join Gary Douglas for the Abuse Hold class. This is the first time ever that this dynamic process is being presented in a class format. Find out more about these Access Consciousness April events in Seattle by visiting transformation.events. That's transformation.events.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Pat. Many of you have heard me talk about the Lyme disease epidemic going on right now in the world. I want to tell you about my friends at Results RNA. They have now created an entire Lyme support system for immune system support, detoxification, rejuvenation, and neurological healing. Please visit resultsrna.com to learn more, and for first-time orders, you'll receive a special 10% discount. All you have to do is type in Dr. Pat at checkout.
This ring here represents my heart, but there's just one thing I need from you. Say I do, because I can see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes in the sand. I can see us on the countryside.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hey, you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show. You can find out more about us by going to the Dr. Pat Show. Also, you can go to transformationtalkradio.com. But most importantly, I would love for you to go check out the Maca team. And you can go to the Maca team, and that is THEMACA team.com. And when you go there, you're going to be able to see a lot of information, but very specifically about today's show. On the left-hand side, there's just a bunch of articles. One is Peru is GMO free, and then there's also Peruvian versus Chinese Maca. But the point is, please ask a question. And one of the there's actually like one of the things that I do is if it doesn't say GMO free, I don't get it because I don't buy it. Because for me right now, if it doesn't say it, that means that they can't make that claim. You know, Mark, thank you so much for today. We've got a lot to talk about, and I know that this is something you're super passionate about. You're going to walk us through literally what the impact is of genetically modified food, but also what it is about the effort to keep Maca that you use GMO free.
Yeah, we definitely only, source GMO free, Peruvian grown quality products. Why do we do that? Because people have been taking Maca for 2,000 years in this form. It's been helping people and, interestingly, the livestock they keep. That's how it got discovered, with the livestock being particularly fertile, producing healthy babies, and having more stamina and strength than other livestock that didn't eat it. So we're just totally committed to sharing something that really helps people. And that's what's so gratifying about doing what we do and why it is, as you mentioned, a passion-based business. It comes from my passion for superfoods in general and for high-quality nutrition. So much can be addressed through nutrition. I'm not a doctor and don't claim to have the answers, but I do know from personal experience and so many testimonials we receive that a lot can be helped by eating high quality foods and getting away from processed foods and then adding in some functional foods like Maca. And I'd say Maca is one of the top 4 or 5 superfoods anybody can add in to their daily consumption of food. So I do think it is important to point out a little bit.
Yeah, you were going to take us through it again, because I know we did talk about the different Macas before, but you were going to just kind of refresh our...
I did want to do that for anybody who's listening, because there's a couple important things to know about Maca. The first is you're going to see 2 different general types of Maca. There's going to be a raw Maca powder, and then there's what's called a gelatinized, which is a pre-cooked Maca powder. There's a lot of talk on the internet. You're going to read varying opinions. Some people will say never take raw. Some people will say only take raw. Some people will say the natives only cooked Maca, so you must pre-cook it. There's all of that controversy out there, and you can, jump on either side of it. The fact is both of them work for people. We get great feedback for both of them. Our personal recommendation typically for most people is to go with a raw product unless you have a digestive issue at all. If you have a sensitive stomach, then get the pre-cooked gelatinized product. Why? Because the starch content is effectively reduced in the pre-cooked gelatinized product, and it's not going to affect your digestion. So that's really important for everyone to listen to and understand that indeed, if you do have a sensitive stomach, you get the gelatinized. And what's great is we have all of our products in raw and gelatinized. So wonderful. You don't have to compromise in that way. So that's the first thing. So if you do have the sensitive stomach, get the gelatinized. Now beyond that, maca comes in powder, which it's just the root that has been cleansed in a citrus cleanser and powdered, made into a powder, just like a flower. And it is typically that consistency of a flower. Many people love the taste. I don't know if you do, Dr. Pat. Do you like the taste?
I love the taste. Yeah. And actually, I did, I talked about this earlier that, it is really good. I love it. I love it on quinoa. I love it in the shakes. And it's actually the best tasting maca I've ever had. And that was really kind of a bonus. I mean, it really is yummy. And then what I find is that it kind of changes depending upon what you put it with. So if I take the maca and put it with like walnuts or something, it changes as well. But I love the taste.
Well, see, that's a great example. Many people do love it. I love it too. Some people don't. So if you don't, or if you need a little extra convenience, we've got our powders in the capsules. Capsules do get more expensive because of the labor to put the powder in the capsule, but they are very convenient and they're a precise serving size, right? If you get 6 capsules, it's the same and not a heaping teaspoon versus a smaller teaspoon or whatever. So it's easy and convenient and you don't have the taste. The other thing to consider, and I'm holding one in my hand right now, is our maca, liquid maca extracts. Those are super convenient, and they are made from our raw product, but the raw powders, but they do not affect digestion at all, so you don't have to worry about that. And they go directly into the bloodstream because you hold a few of those liquid maca drops under your tongue and let it interact there for a moment, and it shoots right into your bloodstream, and you feel an energy boost pretty quickly. I have to share one thing about the extracts. Is one of the women in our warehouse who actually makes the capsules. So this is a manual process. She's 50. And she, her hands were hurting after making the capsules because, it's a bit like sewing in a sense. It's very technical with your hands and manual. And so she's one day randomly, she grabbed some of our premium maca extract, started taking it. And 2 weeks later, I get a call from her. Her name's Stephanie. And she's like, Mark, this is amazing. My hands do not hurt at all. And I just made, 80 jars of capsules or whatever. And so why is that? That's happening. The maca is helping blood circulation. It's, again, boosting the life force energy. So the extracts are a great way to take it as well. I like powder and extract, and I think you do too, right, Dr. Pat?
Yeah,
I like the mix of them. So I eat my powder in the morning usually, and then I have my maca extract with me, at my desk or in my bag. Sometimes in my pocket, I'll take it with me. Great for travel. It can go on the airplane. It's not too big to go on the airplane, by the way. So those are the choices: the powder, the capsules, the extracts. Then you have to choose: am I going to get yellow maca roots, red maca roots, or black maca? And you can think of it like carrots that grow in different colors. So maca grows in 3 different colors, right? So simply yellowish off-white to yellow off-white roots are called yellow, and pinkish to purple roots are called red, and dark gray to light gray to dark gray roots are called black. And they make up about 60% of the harvest is yellow, 25 is red. 15 is black. That's why the red and black are a bit more expensive. And they have a little bit different properties. I won't go into the depth of those right now, but basically we typically recommend red maca a lot for women because it has shown to be a little bit better for balancing female hormones. And black maca has been shown under research to help increase sperm count and sperm motility. So we typically recommend that for men. Women or men can take either, doesn't really matter, but that's sort of our recommendations. Now, what's great and what we really try to do on our website is give the best information anywhere. So you can go on our site and get this info under our Which Maca page, and it's very detailed. And even better than that, if you can't get all your questions answered there, guess what? Just give us a call, and we're going to help you out on the phone.
Yeah.
You know,
and I love that. And, part of that, too, is there are questions that people have. But, I was really struck by something because you're absolutely right. And I was thinking about this now that you're talking about it because I did at about 8 o'clock yesterday, 8 o'clock last night. I knew I was going to have to stay up and get this project done. And that's what I did. I went and I put a couple drops under my tongue. Isn't that interesting? Because I totally forgot that. I think, Mark, when you get into a way, right, and you can feel your body change, you don't really think about it much anymore. But it's been one of the simplest modifications I've made when it comes to food or, including something in my day-to-day support. And I know you probably hear that all the time. I'm pretty sure that you do. But to have this kind of change, and here's what I'd like to say about this before we go to break. Most of the time, if you're somebody like me, you'll go to a doctor or you'll work with a trainer or whatever you're going to do to try to get yourself into gear. And people will say stuff like, wow, you're doing pretty good for your age, or, you can't really expect. And I'm like, I tell people up front, don't even go there with that conversation because this is about making sure that we are treating ourselves well. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more about the benefits of maca powder. Also, we're going to tell you how you can get your own here, themacateam.com. When we come back, we're also going to talk about, what is the movement that Mark and the team here have put together. And we'll let you know how you can order your own. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Summer after high school when we first met, we make out in your Mustang to Radiohead. And on my 18th birthday, we got matching tattoos. Used to steal your parents' liquor and
discover the 8 things the elements of prosperity want you to know. Lynn Brown is hosting a life-transforming, soul-expanding evening on April 30th featuring guest speaker and radio host Dr. Pat Basili. Lynn was guided to make this a by-donation event for entrants, and all proceeds will be donated towards uplifting the homeless community. For more information and to get tickets, visit eventbrite.com. That's eventbrite.com and type Lynn Brown in the search.
Awaken to your radiant, authentic self. For over 15 years, Soul Purpose Advocate Nancy Monson has been focused on leading change in the lives of those looking to live their true purpose. She is devoted to supporting people in living a soul-directed life every day. Let Nancy help you overcome fear, worry, and doubt. Visit everydayspirituality.com to learn how Nancy can be your Soul Purpose Advocate.
Do you want to achieve your goals? Do you want to strengthen relationships with others? Do you want to improve your financial status? Colette Marie Steffen is partnering with Mark Kettenbach to bring you an energetic upgrade online experience launching in April. Unfold and develop your full potential. Visit energeticupgrade.com today for more information. That's energeticupgrade.com.
What if we really didn't have to die to go to heaven? Are you curious about the afterlife or rebirth? The highly anticipated new book from author Dr. Susan Allison, You Don't Have to Die to Go to Heaven, is available now. Find out how to find guidance and healing in the spirit realms. Order the book today and put it on your must-read list for 2016. Visit drsusanallison.com to learn more.
In retirement, will you have enough money to live life on your terms? Everyone has retirement questions, so ask Ameriprise financial advisor Jeff Packman about the new Confident Retirement Approach. You and Jeff can break down retirement planning step by step to get the real answers you need. Call Jeff Packman, financial advisor, today at 425-453-0272. Office is located at 601 108th Avenue Northeast, Suite 1800, Bellevue, Washington, 98004. The Confident Retirement Approach is not a guarantee of future financial results. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
Almost everyone at some time in their lives ask themselves, what am I? Most of our questions are ego-generated and simply don't address the problem of our false self. It's time to relax your ego and embody your soul. Dr. Dan Cohen, neurologist, inventor, and author, has created tools to awaken a new way to transform from who you thought you were into what you truly are. Visit toolstoawaken.com today.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Yeah, Katy Perry. Come on, girl. Get that album out there. Welcome back, everyone. We need to send her some Maca. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Dr. Pat Show, Transformation Talk Radio. I'm so thrilled to have Mark Ament joining me here today. But more than that, there is a team. Just like I get to show up here and chat with Mark and chat with all of you, but I have a fabulous team of people that I get to work with every day. They're all amazing. And I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing, and Mark wouldn't be here doing what he's doing if we didn't have a support of extraordinary people. As I said before, if you go to themacateam.com and then you put a / in there and the word Pat, P-A-T, there's a special offer just for you all that we've put together. So themacateam.com /Pat, P-A-T, and you're going to be so happy. Mark, there are a number of different things that we did talk about today, but there are also a couple. Question came in, and I'd love for you to talk about this. A question came in from Philip. Questions from Philip. Question is, hey, Dr. Pat, Mark, got a question for you. How about the kids? Is Maca okay for kids?
Great question. And let me start answering that by saying people traditionally in Peru eat maca their whole lives, starting out when they're children, people who live in the high Andes. So that's traditionally done. And anecdotally from my own life, my daughter started eating maca out of the bag when she was about 2. Just sticking her finger in and eating it. And I would just trust that when the taste changed, she would put it away. So, and she did. She didn't eat, quote unquote, too much. But in general, maca is fine for kids. It can be great for focus and attention. We've had that feedback. We've had energy boosting and just general hormone balance. That's especially been the case for, interestingly, boys who've eaten a lot of soy products because that raises their estrogen. We've had some vegetarian families share that feedback. The thing to keep in mind with kids is their body weight. So, if a 100-pound or 120-pound person is going to take 1 teaspoon of maca, typically, a 40-pound person is going to take a quarter a teaspoon of maca during the day. And so that's what's important to keep in mind, is just to lower the amount that is taken. My daughter, she's almost 7 now, and she still loves red maca out of the bag. But daily she gets a nice dropper full of the extract. for sure. And that's wonderful. Just holds it under her tongue. Our extracts are glycerin based, so they're kind of sweet. So great for kids. If you do have any questions about that, give us a call or let us know, and we're happy to answer that. But in general terms and in our specific experience, Maca is great for kids.
Yeah, and I think that's really what comes up. And, I think the thing that for me that I always keep in mind is, it's food.
Yep.
And I think I said that. I think I said that a bunch of months ago, but it is food. And,
Yeah.
And if you go to the website, you can look at the pictures and you could take a look at it. The other thing that is really important to talk about is, and you and I were talking about this during the break, and it's the question of, Mark, how do you know? How do you know that this is really, certified organic? How do you know about the purity? What steps do you all take?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I'm very happy to answer that. So at the level of the farms we work with, they are all inspected biannually by organic certifying organizations, both from the U.S. and Europe. And the European standards are very high, so they have to comply with that. They're higher than the U.S. ones, actually. So the farms themselves are inspected. The processing facility is inspected by these organizations, the certifying organizations. Then beyond that, every batch of maca is tested to a high standard for the resulting document of the test is called a certificate of analysis. And what they test for are any sorts of heavy metals, and there are standards to be met. So all of them are well below the standards. For example, lead, which is a big one, right? Obviously, we don't want any of that. It has to be less than 0.5 parts per million. The maca that we get is usually testing at 0.18 to 0.2, so half of what would be considered, not acceptable. So we have all those tested. In addition to testing for metals, it tests for mold and yeast, salmonella, any sort of bacteria, and those all have to come back totally negative. So every batch of maca is tested on that level, and we get those certificates of analysis and do publish them on our website, and that can be found under the Why Us page, the link to that. And then beyond that, we often test for any sort of pesticides. So we take our powder once it gets to the U.S. and we just check. And we don't do it with every batch because the results are always so good. And we do have an example result from a batch from early 2015 or late 2015, I should say. Mm-hmm. And it's tested. The lab we use is out of Washington, actually. Interesting.
Yeah.
Where you are, Dr. Pat.
Yeah.
And it's tested. I want to say for over 100 different kinds of pesticides. It's amazing. And so we have to be sure that it's as good as can be. That's what our commitment is, because I've always viewed it like if I'm not going to put it in my body, there's no way I could share it with my family, right? And I consider Maca Team customers part of my extended family, part of my human family, and I appreciate them and care about them. So
yeah,
that's why we go to those lengths and are happy to do so.
Well, and I think part of this is in the world that we're living in today is we don't really want to have to think about, is this thing I'm putting in my body safe or not? And I think that's really a sense of freedom that we get from this is, you don't have to be shopping around for this. This is why, we love helping you get the word out about this, because we don't have to shop around for it. This is where I know I can go. This is where I know that I can send my friends. This is where I know we're talking about organically grown, fair trade, GMO free, fresh, potent, and potent's a key word. Because if those things are not so, then it reduces the potency of what we're taking, doesn't it?
It does, and I just have to say we're really grateful for your support, Dr. Pat, in this, and you're really helping our mission, which is to get high quality, pure Peruvian grown maca into the hands of people all over the world, and thank you for that.
Yeah, and wait, Mark, wait till we get the video of me playing table tennis. Then that
should go viral.
Yeah, I can't wait. I just got it. I mean, it's going to be like, Jessica, can you come down, do like a little videotape of me? Not only that, look at how happy we can be. Mark, thank you so much for today. Last question, personal message. What would you like to leave us with?
Oh, wow. That's so good. Let's see here. I would just like to say to everybody, to continue to investigate for yourself and try something new. Try maca, for example. Just try it, give it a shot, and see what it can do for you, because there's unexpected benefits to be had
everywhere. Thank you, guys. Stay tuned. More to come right here on the Dr. Pat Show.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.